Welcome to the Zaxby's Pregame Show.
It's a nice preseason matchup for two squads. Nate, I'm a little concerned with Southern Lee and generally the size of this squad coming down here. Pinecrest being a 4A school, Southern Lee's a small 3A school, so there is a disparity in terms of the size matchup. What can Southern Lee do to overcome that?
The best thing, you're right, Chris. Best thing right off the bat is Southern Lee needs to get their offensive line moving side to side, get them pulling, get Pinecrest guessing on where they're going to go with the ball. Defensively, you're going to see a lot of stunts and a lot of crosses, a lot of crazy blitz patterns tonight just to keep Pinecrest honest, because you're right. If they line up man-to-man, it's going to be a long night for the Cavaliers.
Well, it seems also on defense for the Cavaliers, virtually every snap's going to be a roll of the dice. They're going to play downhill. They're going to attack the gaps. They're going to play downhill is the best way I know to describe it. And this veer offense that Pinecrest runs is looking for a crease.
Absolutely.
And if you leave the wrong gap open, there going to be a lot of green in front of those backs. I talked to Rob Patterson shortly before we came on the air. He said his biggest concern is he wants to see the tackling improve from last week against Hope County. If they tackle well, he feels like they can stop this running attack for Pinecrest and make them do things they're uncomfortable with. But it should be a fun matchup. In the bigger scheme of things, for Southern Lee, what happens tonight doesn't really have a whole lot of impact with conference play that starts about 5 weeks from now. But it's important for these young men in this program that they get out here and they be competitive tonight, and that this is a good game for them. Trent, what are your observations? We've been here for an hour or so, getting the lay of the land. What do you see?
You know, I mean, it's just got to be a little intimidating to be Southern Lee, having such a huge program lining up across from you. And, you know, I'm looking forward to them, pinning their ears back and giving it all they got. And, you know, just like we said last week, I think this is something that you got to find those moral victories, whether it's a W on the scoreboard at the end of the game or just improving from last week is something that I would really be looking for as a player.
Pinecrest comes in led by Chris Metzger, who's been the North Carolina Coach of the Year. He's an established veteran coach at this point, been here for about 10 years. Top shelf across the board. Nate, you and I talked about the fact that he understands every component of the program. And I'm going to point something out to you that I just saw that he did better than most schools do. Tonight is senior night at Pinecrest. It's a beautiful, cool night. Nobody's out there shivering and cold. You're not trying to squeeze it in at halftime where you need to be getting players hydrated. You don't want to get people tight. Every school in the state, every school in the nation should take a page out of Chris Metzger's playbook and implement that, because I've seen schools absolutely fall apart after senior night festivities where their seniors, who are generally their best players, have been standing out on a field for 30 minutes as part of a ceremony, not hydrating, tightening up, and then come back out and are expected to play ball in the second half. That's just a little something.
Absolutely.
Been doing this for a while, and I see a lot of things.
Well, Chris, you get used to a 20-minute halftime. And as a coach and a player, you understand where you need to go with those 20 minutes. Part of it's hydration, getting checked out by the athletic trainer. Part of it's coaching. Part of it's getting stretched back out, rocking and rolling. When you throw in an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes that oftentimes senior night takes, it's hard to get those kids back and get them focused real quick. We've run into that more times than I care to count in my career.
Well, when you get back into coaching, you have a head job.
No.
You just remember what I told you. And Trent, do whatever with it. It's a beautiful, beautiful night. This is a beautiful facility, great crowd on hand. Couldn't ask for more. The weather could not be 1% better any kind of way. I mean, it's an amazing night. This is a beautiful place for football, and we're excited. The Captains are at midfield. We'll get the national anthem and get this underway shortly. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by New Image Media.
New Image Media presents the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Crossroads Ford. Big city deals from a dealer with a hometown feel.
my favorite time of the year. Football is back. I would like to personally invite you to come down for your next new or pre-owned vehicle purchase. With one of the largest new and pre-owned inventories in the area, come see us today for discounts that the competition simply can't match or beat. If you drive in Sanford, why not buy in Sanford? Come see me, the deal maker. Come and get that big town deal with that small town feel right here at Crossroads Ford in Sanford.
Hope still does spring eternal for every football team in the state. And Southern, I said during the pregame, Southern's still a favorite. Got out of the gate slowly. This is going to be a tough matchup for them, but, you know, the honest truth is conference play is when it matters, and Southern still should be looked at as a favorite to finish in the top 2 or 3 in their conference. These preseason games are going to be important, though, as we get down the stretch and you look at playoff seedings and selections and the rest of that. So they need a good showing tonight. And they're going to face a tough task. This Veer offense that they're going to see tonight, Nate, who are the players in that offense for Pinecrest that we're going to see?
First off, at quarterback, the decision maker, number 4, Ben Gorbank. He is a junior, if I remember correctly. He's a junior quarterback. We don't have a height and weight registered for him. Watching some of his film from last week against Concord, made some really good decisions down the line to bring him back second half. Their premier running back, number 21, Nick Bullinger, is a senior at 5'9", 170 pounds. Look at him to be a bruiser of a back. And then number 7, also running back, is Anthony Martin, also a senior at 5'3", 150 pounds. Expect him to be your pitch guy in this Veer offense. So especially when you're running inside and midline Veer, expect him to be the pitch guy.
All right, this Veer offers a lot of challenges.
Absolutely.
Not the least of which it's almost impossible to game plan for in practice unless you run that offense, and nobody does.
Nobody does.
So it gives you a leg up, and when you take a physical advantage and a schematic advantage that's built in with a Veer, boy, it's a tough combination. And the athletes that cycle through here at Pinecrest are as good as most people in the state. This is a school that is historically, at least in the last 10 years, been competitive at the state level. They play in one of the toughest conferences in the entire state. Here in the Sand Hills 4A, you've got Scotland, Richmond County, and Pinecrest all tucked in here. And you better believe the winner of that conference every year is a heck of a ball club.
Absolutely. I'm not envious of the defensive coaching staff from Southern Lee. First off, playing the game on Monday night, so you're on a short week of preparation. And you're right, the Veer, you can't duplicate it at practice. And so it's going to be a hard tell.
All right, short kick taken at the 29 by the upback. And Southern Lee will take over. They run a triple option offense led by Thomas Harrington, the senior quarterback. Problems in the backfield this week. Rodney Ingram, their premier tailback, the guy they want to feature on offense, is out with a bit of a knee injury. His backup, Nick Locklear, little dinged up, going to miss tonight. So we have been told that Elijah Fox, who plays corner and usually receiver, is going to line up as the starting tailback, and we were misled. Instead, it's Tanoa Lockley at tailback, one of my favorite high school players of all time. Harrington hands it up the gut, and the carry is out over the 31.
Number 24, Keyshawn Mays, who this is his second year playing high school football. So he was a transfer in before his junior year, and he started playing football then. He's a heck of a baseball player out here.
Well, speaking of baseball, Thomas Harrington, quarterback for Southern, who's been in the program at the quarterback position for 4 years, has signed to play Division I baseball at Campbell University.
At my school, he's going to be at Campbell. I'm proud to have him part of the Boots Creek family.
Harrington trying to make something out of nothing. Gets it wide to Lockley. Lockley makes a man miss, gets back close to the line of scrimmage, but will lose a yard. So what's the Camel's name, Nate?
Gaylord Perry.
There you go. It's just Gaylord.
Perry.
Gaylord the Camel.
Number 13, keep an eye on him. He is Bruce Mack McFadden. Had 5 tackles last week. Came in with that stop on that last play.
All right, a very methodical approach for Ken Neal and this Southern Lee offense. They are one of the few teams left that huddles after every play. So they will go into the huddle and come out. They take plenty of time. Play clock is down inside of 8 seconds now. Harrington barking out signals, takes the snap, pitches. Lockley's got some work to do. Dancing, gets past one, not going to get past the crew coming behind, and only picks up about a yard. That'll bring up 4th and 7, and surely the punt team will hit the field.
You know, Chris, I hope this is an indicator of the struggles that Southern Lee had last week at against Hope County. They seem to really struggle moving the ball. So this first drive, I was hoping to see a little bit more.
Well, Coach, the offense is on the field.
Now, Thomas can kick from this spot as well. He has done this before.
Southern backed up to their own 29. Now he's going to take a step back, and maybe it's a pooch kick coming. And looks like it. Yep, and just gets it out of there. That was 4 or 5 inches from being blocked. It's going to be fielded on a bounce. Return man's got it coming left, and a good open field tackle.
Hey, nice little 35-yard punt there, though.
Yep, Parker Oldham on the stop. Ethan Stallings joined in there at the end of it.
Parker Odom, number 64 for the Cavaliers, an all-conference offensive lineman last year. So it's good to see him getting down the field. It's always fun to see big boys getting down the field making tackles. That's what they dream about.
Well, Parker's going to see plenty of time on the defensive line tonight, but he is the rock on that offensive line. All right, so this defense, we told you to play downhill. The strength of the defense is in the secondary, where you've got Elijah Fox and Tanoa Lockley, a pair of all-conference contenders at corner and really legit D1 prospects athletically. Wow, missed tackles all over the place. Finally, force him back and take him down for about a 1-yard loss.
We do have a flag on the field. I believe it's going to be blocking the back.
Well, when you cut it back that many times,
it's
hard
bound to
keep
happen.
from picking one up. But, you know, I told you the defensive staff said in the pregame, we've got to tackle better. Too many Cavaliers with a hand on the ball carrier that time without being able to bring him down.
Pinecrest motioning out of that veer setup. First play going to quads on one side. Interesting first call from Coach Chris Metzger and his offensive coordinator.
They're going to call it a hold, which is the catch-all. Could have been any number.
Southern Lee starting out the game with 8 guys in the box. So when in discussion with Coach Rob Patterson, the defensive coordinator, he told me they were going to be sending a lot of guys in a lot of different holes this week. So that has held true through one play.
All right, Nick Garb, our quarterback. Zaheem Kelly and Nick Bollinger in the backfield with him.
Adjusting the clock back to 9:41.
I'm not 100% certain what could have taken the crew so long to figure out what the call was. A huddle like that in an extended discussion, you know, normally that's a dead ball type situation. Interesting. Southern Lee will take the call and back the Patriots up. It'll bring up 1st and 19. And this is the type situation, Trent, that Southern has got to take advantage of.
Yeah.
This is an offense that can do a lot of different things, but it's not built to pick up yards in chunks. When you get a team that runs an option offense like this behind the sticks, you have got to make them pay for it. Another missed tackle in the open field. Ball carrier's going backwards, now forwards, and is going to be wrapped up and make something out of nothing. And it'll be taken down after a gain of a couple, 2nd and long coming up.
Yeah, Southern Lee has to, if there's any penalties or mental errors on with the Patriots, Southern Lee's got to take advantage of it. And right away, they really need to get these tackles wrapped up because that running back likes to dance.
Well, so much for the veer. Now Pinecrest is going to go 5 wide.
We haven't even seen the veer yet.
No.
Nope. We're looking at quads with a tight end here, guys. Southern Lee has
Garbark straight running, round the left side, needs a block, going to be tripped up and stopped just short up, and there's a flag comes in again, maybe another hold.
We saw this from Pinecrest last week against Concord, coming out a lot of penalties early. Looking forward, seems like they're starting that same pace. Now, they did get it straightened up second half last week, so we'll see how they adapt. I'm sure Coach Metzger's going to have some words with them about all these penalties when they get to the sideline.
All right, spot foul from the 41 is going to carry the ball back to the 31. They'll mark it at the 32. So 2nd and 20 coming up now, and Pinecrest can't get out of their own way. So we saw a little wrinkle there. That this is a running team first. They went 4 wide receivers and a tight end, but that was a run all the way for Garbach. Kelly lined up in the backfield with him. Snaps. Going to turn it up inside. Making hay, breaking tackles. Going to pick up about half of what they need. It'll be 3rd and 7 from the 45. Well, different look, same offense.
Absolutely. Interesting to watch the blocking patterns up front on these designed runs. A lot of times on your play side veer, you're going to see your guard and tackle go straight up to second level. So we haven't seen a lot of that so far, but something to definitely keep an eye on as we progress forward.
All right, 3 spread wide right. Garbach takes it, pitches to Kelly. Kelly got the corner. He's going to pick up the first down as he crosses into Cavalier territory and go pushed out at the 44. That is a gut punch.
All those 2 holding penalties backed them up. 20 yards worth of penalties, and they couldn't stop it.
All right, 1st and 10. Pinecrest looking for a cleaner segment of this drive. Garbach with 3 wide left. Fakes, throwing it down the left sidelines. Got a man. It is up. It is juggled and
incomplete.
To Noah Lockley on the coverage. Lockley, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he'll be on my all-conference team as a cornerback this year. And I mean, I'm not talking about that particular play. I've been watching Tanoa Lockley play football since he was a freshman. Dynamite ball player.
Absolutely. And
he's got a tough matchup tonight. He's facing Jaden Gaddy, who is much taller than he is. I doubt he can outrun him in a foot race, but they're going, oh, goodness. That's the kind of splash play you want to see the Cavaliers make when given the opportunity, but the ball right through the hands of the linebacker in coverage. Steve Cameron almost made a huge play, but even without a splash play, now it's 3rd and 10. Make this count, Cavaliers.
Going back to Tanoa Lockley, one of the combines this summer ran a 4.4 flat 40, so his foot speed is outrageous.
He can pick him up and put him down. Matched up man-to-man. Garbach's looking that way. Oh, no, he's got a breakdown in coverage, and that's going to be a walk-in touchdown. There's a blown coverage there.
Touchdown for number 3, Zaheem Kelly.
Kelly, who had lined up in the backfield, split into the slot that time and just ran through the defense unchecked. Nobody picked him up.
Southern Lee had a real coverage lapse there. Number 3, Zaheem Kelly, seems to be a real playmaker for Pinecrest High School. Last week against Concord, he had an interception and quite a few yards receiving as well. So he picks up right where he left off last week.
Well, Southern Lee looking good in very short bursts on defense that drive, but when it counted most, Pinecrest came through with 2 big plays, one to keep the drive alive, one to put it in the end zone. We've got 7:15 left in the first quarter here at Pinecrest. We'll take a quick break and be back and see if Southern Lee can answer.
It's game day at Classic Nissan. The starting lineup. Your captains on offense.
It's going to be a long
number
night, boys.
5,
Yes, sir.
Holden Cruz.
Or a short night.
And
Well,
number 10,
true. Run the clock.
Jasmine Dole. Your captains on defense, number 55, Wesley Tater Womack. Number 7, Steve Dandred.
Whether you're a Yellow Jacket or a Cavalier, everybody gets a classic deal. For sales, service, or parts, visit us at ClassicNissanSanford.com or in person on Highway 87, right across from Walmart in Sanford.
To receive the kickoff. 3 men deep this time. Big spinning kick. Going to back Lockley up into the end zone. He'll watch it fly over his head and out of the back of the end zone. So mixing it up by the Patriots there.
Absolutely.
First kick was a low liner, hoping to carry him off somebody. That time they figured they'll just kick it out of the back of the end zone. Same personnel on offense this time out.
It is so weird, Chris, to see a huddle. It's been so long since we've seen a team huddle.
I was just about to say, here in their habitat, undisturbed.
We're watching the rare huddle.
Lockley in at tailback. Harrington takes a snap, looks in the belly, fakes, got him looking down the seams, got a man, and hits him in stride. Elijah Fox is going to take it to the house.
Southern Lee
80
responds.
yards all in one chunk. When you got athletes, anything can happen.
That's what you got to do. That downfield attack is what we've been missing from Southern Lee High School. So it was great. They showed their triple option look as always. And Elijah Fox just won the foot race there.
Well, he'll beat a lot of people in foot races.
Great ball placement by Thomas Harrington.
Nice throw.
Nice throw.
Nice throw. Fox got the separation, gave him plenty of window to throw it into, and Harrington didn't miss. So just like that, Southern Lee cuts it to 7-6.
Southern Lee going to attempt to kick tonight. I would assume it is Daniel Pisano, though I don't have his number on our roster. Well, that's who's been kicking for him the past couple years.
It is Daniel Pisano. Big, high, spinning, majestic kick.
What a response by the Cavaliers.
Right.
If you're going to take a shot downfield, that's the way to do it.
All right, so Pinecrest been hitting them out. Let's see how they respond. That drive, 9 seconds off the clock.
Well, I can tell you, Chris, that is not what I was expecting down on 1st and 10.
No, sir.
Coach Neal threw in a curveball there.
Well, yeah, and I don't think Pinecrest, their defense, ever expected that. Everyone was looking inside, let that guy get behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a perfect drop that ball right into his hands, and he took care of the rest. But
well, and watching that live, Southern Lee had quite a few wide receivers open. They had a 5-yard in route that was wide open. Number 2 was there as well. So the Pinecrest secondary might not have been the right call for the play.
Well, here you want a lesson in what small school football is all about. Elijah Fox just went 80 yards on that touchdown, running at top speed, and gets rewarded by coming out to run down on kick coverage here. And after he finishes kick coverage, he's going to get to go out and play corner and play man, chasing one of the better athletes for Pinecrest around on this next series. Pisano, see what he's got in store with the kick. 7:03 tie ball game, 7-7 here at Pinecrest.
Looks like he's going to be doing a place kick here from his alignment. And there it is.
Big high spinner. And no fair catch call. Breaks the tackle, and that's not what Coach Neal was hoping for. Going to be brought down at the 43-yard line.
after a 25-yard kick.
Yeah, nice little return.
Runs right through number 26, A.J. West.
So do we see the V yet?
Have we seen the veer yet?
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Not from its traditional lineup.
Nope.
We haven't seen anything like it.
Traditional veers under center.
I've never seen the veer.
Yes,
I don't believe I've ever seen Pinecrest run from the gun.
if you watch old West Virginia tape, they made the veer famous back in the 70s.
Johnny Major's time.
That was before my time, but
It doesn't look like they.
still not in it.
This is not the veer either.
Still not
Trent.
in it.
We'll let you know when we see it. Garbark from the gun. He's going to run. He's got space. Makes a man miss. Takes on a tackler. Going to be pulled down probably just enough for the first down there. We'll call it 10. Yep, they're calling for the chains to move.
Number 3, to Noah Lockley, the good open field tackle on Garbank.
Picking his buddies up because there were a couple missed tackles prior to that.
So you know what's even harder than preparing all week for the veer offense?
Not seeing the veer
Is
offense.
preparing all week and them not doing it.
Yeah.
Is a heck of a move.
Yeah. 4 wide again. 2 left, 2 right. Nick Morella in it, tailback. Braxton. Yeah, he's got the pitch, man. And nice tackle. Steve Cameron on the stop. Gets about half of it. 2nd and 5 coming up. Clock running halfway through the first quarter. Garbach again, carrying up the middle, stop. Good stop by the interior line there. Picks up about a yard, 3rd and 4 coming up.
You know who we haven't seen a whole lot of impact player yet tonight from Southern Lee is Cedric Douglas.
No, we have not.
Number 41. Keep an eye on him. Expect him to do good things.
Cedric Douglas is a young man that has just gotten better and better in his time in the program. And coming into this year is a guy that everybody associated with this program was quick to drop as a guy to watch. Got a tough matchup tonight because there's a big athletic lineman going to run him left, right. They're going to wrap up. They're almost going to. Ball's
Ball's on the ground.
And Garbach's going to fall on it. Loses a couple, which will bring up 4th and 7. So interesting decision here for Coach Metzger.
I would say I don't see a punt crew moving too much on here. I'd say they're going for it here.
So he lines up under center and fumbled.
I'm going to tell you what, I'm glad I'm not a defensive coordinator right now because given what I've seen from these guys, I don't have any idea what Pinecrest is about to do with this football.
Me neither. Pinecrest is having some
timeout.
Some
Coach
staffing
Metzger's
issues.
Not real excited about having to burn a timeout there. There's 4:21 left in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break with them, be back to see this 4th down play. You're watching the NFHS Game of the Week.
We're still on, fellas. No, I'm just joking. He never said we're out.
I think we're still in.
I think we're still
Yeah.
on.
That's what that screen means, Trent. Thanks for
No
thanks
problem.
for messing that
I
up.
was just
We were going to run silent there.
sorry.
No break.
Moment of silence. We were trying to catch the verbiage down there.
Yeah, I'm glad you kept it clean, though.
Coach Metzger is not going to be happy about that.
No, not
I
a little
counted
bit.
at one point in time 13 guys on the field. 12 is bad. 13 is really bad.
13 is really good if you can get away with it.
Absolutely.
All right. Interesting formation here. 3 wide left.
Lots of faces going in front of our camera.
And you got a
Always.
tight end to the left as well, so very heavy to the left. Garbach from the gun. Looking, he is going to throw it. He's under pressure, floats it out there. That's a pick.
That's a pick.
Lockley's going
Number
to the house.
3 to Noah Lockley.
Oh, man. Boy, I tell you what. Early call, I doomed him. Garbach took the right angle and was able to cut him off, but Lockley had green all in front of him. That was never a good-looking play. Pressure up the gut, immediate Garbach gets rid of it and just floats it out there.
Well, against DBs like Elijah Fox and Tanoa Lockley, you can't float that ball up to a zone because on 50-50 balls, they're going to come down with it more times than not.
Well, a lot of places at a lot of levels, you hear a lot of times that's why he plays defense, because he can't catch. Not the case with these two young men. They're better receivers than they are defensive
Absolutely.
backs.
Another great thing about small schools, a lot of times your best receiver is going to be your best DBs too.
All right, Harrington from the gun.
We're looking at a normal doubles read here.
All right, has a man, and nice catch.
Logan Hare, I believe, is on that catch.
I'm certain it's Logan Hare. He of the white shoes. He's easy to pick out.
Logan Hare is one of the more sure-handed wide receivers for the Cavaliers. He does not have the foot speed that you would see from Tanoa Lockley or E.J. Fox. But you put the ball in his vicinity, he's going to come down with it more times than not.
Logan Hare is one of the more sure-handed pass catchers to come through this school in its history.
Absolutely.
I've never seen him put a ball on the ground, even in practice. All right, Harrington getting a message from Fox as he checks in at tailback. Harrington hands up the middle, a little bit of space, and then stuffed. Going to be very close to a first down. It's going to depend on the spot, and it's getting a little chippy down there, too.
78's like, I didn't do that.
That wasn't me.
Not me.
Caden Reinhardt getting mixed up down there, and that will be enough to move the chains. First down, ball at the 25.
Caden Reinhardt coming in at a size that Southern Lee High School is not used to seeing. 6'2", 320 pounds.
Don't get too many 300-pounders at Southern Lee.
He walked through the door. I'm sure Coach Neal was very happy.
Yes, sir. Harrington up the belly one more time. Oh, breaking tackles and dragged down at the 20. Good inside run in there.
Some great blocking by 78.
One thing to keep an eye on here, guys, Southern Lee's backfield keeps lining up at different depths. Thomas is always at 5 yards, and then your fullback and your tailback behind are floating anywhere from 1 to 3 yards apart from each other. So I don't know if that is them just not aligning. I don't know if that's by design.
I was going to ask you what that was, and thanks for volunteering that you don't know.
Yeah, that's, we're back to a 3-yard split between your fullback and your running back here.
With Mays literally right behind Harrington. It's an interesting look. Mays going to carry it up the belly one more time, going to pick up a yard or so. 3rd and 4 coming up. And this is more like the offense we expected to see from Southern Lee. Not the most exciting brand of football in the world.
No.
But, if you can run the ball for 3 yards every play, you'll never lose a game.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Problem is you need 4 here.
Well, this has to be 2-down territory for the Cavaliers.
You got to think so.
You not incredibly confident in your kicker. You have to think 2-down territory here.
Well, you're punching up tonight anyway, and you're going to have to take advantage of opportunities. Harrington, pulls it out of there, then flips it to Fox, and it's on the ground. And that is Thomas Harrington struggles pitching the ball to his left. He's a right-handed quarterback, and people out there that have never played the quarterback position in an option, it is a very difficult thing to do.
That left-handed pitch is hard.
Coming to the right, you can do it one-handed all day. It's easy. It's a natural motion. Coming back the other way, if you're right-hand dominant and can't use that left hand, you end up trying to do a two-handed thing, and that's what we saw there. That is a problem with this offense it's going to have to overcome because we've seen it from the first day of practice this summer.
Well,
now they're going to line it up here for a 45-yard field goal. I do agree with you it was 2-down territory or 4-down territory.
Until that.
Having lost all of that yardage, at this point, I think this is the prudent thing. Kick is up and blocked, and it's going back for a touchdown.
Was terrible. Well, and it looks like we have someone down on the field, one of the Cavaliers.
Is that Zaheem Kelly? Yes, it is. Doing it in all phases.
That is number 2 for Zaheem Kelly tonight.
Yep. Got an interception last week.
And that's the kicker down.
Yeah, Pisano, that's a dangerous position to be in. And there's a reason, you run into the kicker. If you don't get the block, it's a penalty. Mm-hmm. Well, it's no less dangerous if you do get the block. Mm-hmm. And they came through, got ball, got him, and that was just a mess. So Southern Lee had momentum. A big loss putting the ball on the ground sets up a roll of the dice field goal attempt, and it came up snake eyes. Trent, how many yards we got on that return?
You're looking at a 65-yard return.
All right. So just like that, Pinecrest goes on top, 14-7. We'll take a quick break. Be back with the kickoff. You're watching Pinecrest versus Southern Lee on the NFHS network.
Guys, it's back!
Inline skating.
Rock and roll hair?
Calling this thing a pound sign instead of a hashtag?
No, the Zensation is back at Zaxby's.
The Zensation Salad is back, and introducing the new Zensation Filet Sandwich Meal with hand-breaded chicken, Asian slaw, wonton strips, and citrus vinaigrette, both served with an egg roll. The Zensation Salad and Filet Sandwich Meal, only at Zaxby's.
Southern Lee with all the momentum. A couple of bad plays go against them, and out of nowhere, Pinecrest scores go out 14-7.
And this kickoff is brought to you by Classic Nissan. Nobody beats a classic deal.
Well, there's a buzz in this crowd now. They were a little quiet, sitting on their hands. They're up and they're feeling it now. All right, big high spinning kickoff. Lockley will field it at the 4. Takes his time looking for a hole and dances. That's a disaster.
That was terrible.
And Nate, I look back at, I've had several football coaches in my lifetime tell me, returning kicks and punts, 2 different animals.
Mm-hmm.
Punts, dance, find your hole. Kickoffs, get downhill.
That's right.
You can't dance like that with 11 guys running full speed down at you.
Well, and Southern Lee, the traditional kick return, you create wedge, you get behind the wedge, you go as far as you can, then you break off, find your hole through the wedge, and hope you're off for the races. That, I didn't see a whole lot of movement on that kick return, and that was bad. You have to wonder, too, if Tanoa's getting tired. These guys are playing both ways on every aspect of this ball game. That might have been a consequence of that.
So, Nate, I've got an update for you, sir.
Absolutely. What's up?
For those of you that are wondering how Lee County's faring against Northwood tonight, there are 6 minutes left in the first half, sir. The score is now 46-0 Lee County on the road at Northwood.
In Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Well, that'll be a quick game for the Yellow Jackets. They're in the running clock now.
There's 6 minutes left in the
I could be home
quarter.
for dinner if we were doing that game. Goodness gracious. 46-0 midway through the second quarter for Lee County.
That is moving the ball.
All right, here we've come to the end of the first, much more competitive ball game, 14-0 Patriots. We'll be back with the second quarter after this break.
Maybe I'll go tonight.
Emmy Sunshine.
I've been here in Knoxville town with my Danny Ray.
An extraordinary talent who caters to music lovers with a flavorful palate. Her old-timey signature blend of Americana, gospel, country blues captivates audiences of all ages.
Emmy Sunshine will appear at the Mann Center of North Carolina Thursday, September the 19th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at mancenternc.org or call the box office.
The NFHS Game of the Week brought to you by Crossroads Ford's big city deals from a dealer with a hometown feel.
We were talking about a former Cavalier great, Richard McCullough, who is now at Western playing the position of kicker. And he is the first-team kicker there, sophomore this year. I got that right. He's a junior.
As a sophomore, starting kicker and punter last time I talked to him. I haven't made it up to Cullowhee to see him play yet. He's one of the boys that I coach.
Ball's out for the Cavaliers, but they fall on it. But that'll cost them a couple more. Back them up 3rd and 12 coming, and Southern can't get out of their own way.
If you've never been to Cullowhee to a Western Carolina game, though, they are quite fun to go to.
One of my very best friends in the world is a Western Carolina alum. I'll have to roll out there with him one of these weekends.
It's a long haul up there, but it is
fun.
Fun.
There are people in Sanford who will tell you that Richard McCullum is the reason Larry Fedora was fired at UNC. Just saying. He actually went on set at Larry Fedora's coach's show and challenged him and could not get UNC to recruit him. And Harrington, great job getting it out of there. Was it lateral? Was it a forward pass? One way or the other, it ends up badly back at the 2. It looks like they're gonna say that was a lateral.
That looked awful close to being a forward.
I thought it was a
throw.
forward pass. Looked to me like Harrington threw it from the end zone to about the goal line. The referees disagree and don't have – no, now they got it right. They're going to call it incomplete, which saves you a little bit of space but not a whole lot. I mean, you go from 4th and a mile at the 2 to 4th and half a mile at about the 6 is going to be the difference.
Really, the difference here, though, is your spacing for your punter.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't back him up against the –
well, you say that, but they're not going to bring the punt team out anyway. They're going to have Harrington quick kick this thing out of a modified shotgun.
You have to wonder if Coach Neal has given him permission to say, hey, look, if you see something, take it. If not, go ahead and kick it.
No, he hasn't. I'm 100% certain that's not happened. I think the thinking here is again, I don't know how he got that out of there, but it's a great kick and gets it out there to the 44.
Oh, bobbled.
Zahim Kelly coming around the left side. Boy, that's a quick athlete. And finally forced out of bounds at about the 27. Here, I'm going to tell you my thinking. You critique me, Coach.
Absolutely.
You bring a doggone traditional punt formation out there with the size and speed advantage that Pinecrest has. I don't think there's any way you can block it up and not get every kick blocked.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it on the field goal attempt.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same thought process is on the punt team. I think Coach Neal probably likes his odds of blocking it up in a traditional look a little bit better. I'm going to tell you what, though, he better back Harrington up a couple of steps because that's 2 of them that just barely got out of there.
Yep.
That one was a little bit of magic going on.
That's just
and I'm not sure that I don't love the idea, to be perfectly honest.
Traditional veer.
Here we go. This is fun. I'm going to have to talk to the athletic director here at Pinecrest. It's impossible to make out those numbers from here. It is a black background with gold and green in oversized block letters or numbers. I don't have a clue, Nate.
And a dark green numbering at that. It's
yes.
Golden outline. I'm with you. I paid a lot of money for good eyes, and I still can't see it.
Garbach, hands up the middle. And
tackle by number 6 from the Cavaliers.
That was Nick Bollinger with the run up the middle.
Number 6, Julian Barnes, according to our comrades with the radio's starting lineup.
All right, up. Got movement on the left side of the Cavalier line. And both coaching staffs hoping this goes the other way. What's the call going to be? Looks like it's going to be offsides on the Cavaliers, and that'll be a free first down. That's a killer.
That's one thing when you're punching up, as you talked about earlier, Chris, you can't give up penalties like that. You can't give up, not quite a first down, doesn't look like.
That's interesting.
But it looks right on it. Offensive coordinator from Pinecrest, Frankie Keller, coming back into the traditional veer.
Yeah, guys, I know you guys are rookies in the booth here. Don't get accustomed to what just happened here. A member of the, I suppose it's the PTO here at Pinecrest, just came by the front of the press box and asked if we would like anything from concessions.
Yeah. They have servers here, I guess.
And that's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
A little bit of a wrinkle there in the veer. Say, you expect us to run the ball into all these gaps and do everything Chris and Nate said we were going to do in the pregame. Nah, we're not going to do any of that.
Number 11 with the touchdown, Braxton Barber. He's a junior at 6'4", 205. He's also their backup quarterback.
Something is confusing our backs because we've had their receivers wide open.
You expect when you're looking at an offense like the veer that your disconnect is going to come at the first and second level of the defense, but it hasn't. It's been in the secondary at that third level. Defensive backs not covering, linebackers not picking up coverage. Coach Patterson's got to be beside himself.
When I talked to Coach Patterson early this year, back in early to mid-August, before the jamboree that we covered on the 11th, he told me he is starting the youngest group of linebackers that he started since he's been at Southern Lee High School.
Well, Nate, if you think back to the group 4 or 5 years ago led by Sergio Gardner, it's been a steady procession of linebackers through this school. That's been the heart and soul of that team, probably the best position group year in and year out. Caleb Medlock, through last year, kept that tradition alive. But these youngsters, they have got to step up and get to the level that their predecessors the last 5 or 6 years have been, because they're not there yet.
When you go from guys like Sergio to Quentin Locklear, who's at Eastern Kentucky, who's getting substantial playing time, I hear, to the Caleb Medlocks, you're right. That is a lineage of really good linebacker play. And these young guys, they'll get there, I'm sure, but we haven't seen it yet tonight.
All right, here comes the kick. 9:08 left in the half. And fielded by Fox. And he's in the end zone. And most people don't actually understand the rules in high school football. Once the ball crosses the goal line, it's dead.
That's it.
Period.
Yep. No return.
No returns. And for those of you football nerds at home who want to know more about North Carolina high school football rules, if the ball is untouched and goes into the end zone, it's dead. You can't pick it up. So it's onside and it's a live ball anywhere else until it gets into the end zone.
Once it's there, that's it.
Yes, sir.
This drive is brought to you by First Bank. Banking made simple.
All right, Harrington with 4 wide receivers out there. Lone back in the backfield next to him. Drops, looks, gets it out quickly. That's picked. That's a touchdown. Stared down Hare.
Telegraphed him the entire way.
Never looked off of him, and the DB read him like a book. We saw that one coming.
That was a 5-yard curl route that the cornerback there for Pinecrest read the entire way.
Well, he stared him down and then threw late, too. I guess the best you could hope for there is for the defensive back to overrun it and the ball to go behind him. I don't know. That was that's a tough break. And suddenly in a game that was a lot of fun a little while ago is teetering on getting out of hand as Pinecrest jumps up 28-7 after they add this extra point. 9 minutes left in the second quarter.
You really expect a little bit better from a senior quarterback in Thomas Herring.
Yes, sir.
Than that. At least look off the DB. Keep him honest. That ball needs to be thrown about 3 steps sooner before that curl starts to happen. The second that wide receiver makes his turn, the ball should be there in his hands. And you practice that. And Southern Lee has a jugs machine that they should be, I don't know if they are or not, but they should be practicing that route and routes like that every day.
Well, pregame, watching the warm-ups down here, Harrington threw that route 60 times down here on this end of the field. One of those things. And, he's a senior quarterback, but, at the same time, 18-year-old kids are going to make mistakes every once in a while.
Absolutely.
Late with the delivery, and Pinecrest capitalizes, going the other way. 28-7 now. And Southern in desperate need of a spark.
They need a spark, or they need Crystal Copus and Remax Real Estate Services. No one sells more homes than Remax.
Any update from the cheap seats this week?
Technical problems. We were late getting the show up. It's still not up, I don't think. And we will be off for Labor Day. Kick it well into the end zone. Those kickoffs are getting longer and longer. And the Cavaliers will set up shop at their 20. Now from the cheap seats, a weekly show featuring Professor Trent, Nichols, myself, beautiful Brandon Atkins, and the inimitable Robert Brickey. We say every single Monday we do this. This is like the first Monday we've taken off in a couple of years, legitimately.
Okay.
And we will not be on this coming Monday, but generally on Mondays from 9 to 11 on WFJA 105.5 FM in Central Carolina. Or you can catch the show via the podcast version anywhere you get podcasts from the cheap seats featuring Chris Delambert and Brandon Atkins. Check it out. We hope you're not disappointed. If you're not, you get a full money-back refund. How you like that? All right, Harrington, hands up the middle, going nowhere. Nowhere. And Nate, I'm going to be honest with you. When we found out, you and I, at separate occasions, that Southern Lee was going to go strictly triple option this year, I know for a fact that our reactions were similar.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be times in conference play where this offense works very well.
Yep.
Anytime Southern Lee faces an opponent that is bigger than them, they're going to struggle to block that up front, period. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. And having watched some Southern Lee film from last week and their jamborees, their weak point on this offense is that front five. So when you're facing a big, strong up front four like they are against Pinecrest tonight, Southern Lee has to be given an answer. And Coach Ken Neal, as offense coordinator and head coach, has to come up with an answer to combat this, because you're right. I mean, if they stick in this all night, it's going to be a quick night for us, because they're not going to move the ball very much.
Well, I think back to Texas high school football back in my day, when schools that were facing – I don't know if people realize this. The run and shoot was created out of necessity, out by Texas high school football coaches who could not compete with these teams that were bigger and faster than them. And what they did was they figured out if we just spread them out, we can get our little guys into space, maybe we can do something. And what the product was not that those teams became the best teams in the state. Those teams, instead of getting beat 44-0, started getting beat 75-35. But once the other schools out there, there was not so much disparity, they started running the same type of offense. That's what it became. But when a school is undersized, and Southern Lee, this is my 7th year doing Southern Lee games, I can count on my hands the number of times I have seen Southern show up and be equally as large as their opponent. This is not a school that has a lot of great big kids in its district. This is going to be a very difficult offense to run effectively when you're playing against a lot of these schools. And I am legitimately concerned about their ability to run this offense against Lee County.
Oh, yeah. That's they're going to have to come up with answers way ahead of time against Lee County, or it's going to get out of hand really quick. One of the best coaches that I ever coached with, Coach Don Simon, when he was at Southern, we talked about all the time, because I was his offensive line coach. He talked about all the time, we're undersized, we're not going to win battles up front. We need to get the ball in space quickly. And that's what we did, and that's how we found ourselves semi to pretty decently successful. Right now,
that's a nice way to understand. It's a semi. Look, Coach Simon took Southern Lee to the playoffs for the first time in school history. They went to the playoffs every time.
True. That's not true. The second time.
No. Coach Ken Neal has had success here.
First down.
As Thomas Arrington scrambles to the left, picks up 10 for a first down. But Coach Neal has gotten these boys back into the playoffs. The expectation in that part of Sanford at this point is this should be a playoff team year in and year out.
Absolutely.
And given the structure of the Tri-County 6 conference, it's hard to see Southern Lee not finishing in the top 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, folks in Sanford think it ought to be in the top 2 as opposed to the top 3. Union Pine's going to have something to say about it. Harrington pitches to the right, got Lockley to Noah, makes people
corner.
miss.
Beautiful.
And going to pick up some more, still running, has about 15, 16, dragon tackler 17, and it'll finally be brought down at the 39-yard line in Patriot territory. Nice running from the dynamic to Noah Lockley.
Coach Neal, you're correct, though. He did do something in school history that never been done before. He did get to host a home playoff game.
That is a fact.
Last year. That's a fact.
At halftime, Lee County is up on Northwood. 3 minutes left in the first half. Lee County is now up 60-0 against Northwood. And, guys, I'm going to tell y'all, I don't know that either of you know Steve Perdue as well as I do. Steve is going to keep scoring that football until they get on the bus to go home.
Chris, are we going to see 100 tonight?
We might.
We might see 100 tonight.
He will not keep his starters in there, but he will not dumb down that offense.
Look at
Lockley
that.
turns it around. It's all coming back.
There's a holding.
Well, we talked about it earlier when Pinecrest picked up a holding call.
Oh, and it's getting chippy on the sideline.
It is tough when you reverse
on.
field like that way.
Come on.
Well, Lockley with a great individual effort, but when you reverse field that way, it's hard for those linemen not to pick up a holding call.
Absolutely.
But there's some of that athleticism on display. But what I was saying about Coach Perdue at Lee County, he's not going to stop running that offense.
No, not at all.
And when you start subbing in that defense, the joke in the street for the last couple of years is that Lee County's JV could beat a lot of varsity squads. They can.
They can.
And when you bring in that second set of linebackers and that second set of defensive linemen, they're playing to get playing time.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do everything they can. Northwood's got a rough 25 minutes or so ahead of them.
Hey, we don't know if the defense has scored 30 and the offense has scored 30. It might be a challenge between the two.
Who's going to score? Who's going to outscore?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. If you're a college coach out there looking and you haven't gotten in touch with A.J. Bulware or watched tape, do so. He's one of the most underrated, under-recruited players in the state right now. The top returning rusher in North Carolina. He has a couple of D1 offers, and looking for a man throws it over his head and out of bounds.
And you know, Chris, I don't understand why he hasn't.
I'm going to tell you why, Nate.
All right.
The reason is that he played last season at about 170.
Okay, that's light.
And it's light. And I think that the feeling was, all right, he's playing in this offense where he's got these gashes to run through, little scat back type. He's not a scat back. He is a power runner who happens to be very, very fast. He's bulked up to 193 this year. You hear me, coaches? He's playing at 193, and that's not on paper. I saw him for the first time 3 weeks ago, and that's the first thing I asked him. How much did you put on? 24 pounds, sir.
Wow.
And it's all muscle. That is a man.
But
and,
did he lose a step?
No. No, if he gets to the edge, you're done.
Last week we saw that
Fox
firsthand.
taking on tacklers, gets hit by 3, and that'll bring up 3rd and a mile. Yeah, Trent, you got to see him up close and personal. 2 long touchdown runs.
Boom.
He is a dynamic back and a great, great kid. I'm telling you, college coaches, if you're out here fishing, A.J. Bulware, the most under-recruited player I know of in North Carolina right now.
That's a steal.
Yes, sir. All right, I guess we should pay a little more attention to this game.
Southern Lee looking at 3rd and a country mile and a half. Holding penalty killed him on this drive.
Fox and Hare spread left.
They're in doubles here.
They got to get to the 29.
Pump fake,
double move, and dunk. And I tell you, they were trying to get a double move up there on the high side of the field to the wide side.
Chris, was that an attempted hitch and go?
Yes.
All right.
That's exactly what it was. They were trying to get that double move done. It was number 2 that was the receiver he was looking for, and I don't have him in my book, guys.
Number 2. I
don't have him. But, yeah, that's what it was. He almost did a full pivot at the top of that route, And before he could even break down the field, Harrington had been swallowed up. So 4th and 32, 4th and 31. Harrington to punt this thing. Boy, he just gets it out of there. That one wasn't as close as the last couple. Going fair caught at the 27-yard line going the other way. 3:35 left in the first half for Pinecrest to do what they can do.
Pretty good punt, though, by Harrington.
It was.
Pretty good punt.
It was, and that one, even though it was a little tenuous there, was not as close to getting blocked as the last two were.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
New Image Media presents the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by...
Chris, if I'm seeing this correctly, I'm looking up at the Southern League coaching staff up in the box, and we have our very own Philip Chappell up top.
Chappie.
Looks like he's communicating with, I would assume, Coach Ken Neal on the offensive side.
Philip has been enlisted to do some spotting for the team.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's doing a tremendous job.
False start on the punt. They're going to re-kick it, and I saw that. I saw the guy jump early, but I didn't see the flag come out.
Way to make the call. Way to make the call there, Trent. Oh, wait a minute. You didn't make the call.
No, I did. I just called it.
You were reactionary.
You guys are too busy flirting with Coach Chappie.
Philip Chappell, former lineman at Duke and Lee County great.
He's a legend.
He is a legend.
He's a Lee County football legend.
He is a Lee County legend for sure, and has a young son playing for the Cavaliers.
As a freshman, and if I remember correctly, he is dressing out. And Philip is also a one-man paint crew for the Cavaliers.
I didn't know that. No.
He is painting their field. He and I believe his wife is helping him some.
What?
But I tell you, that is job.
I cannot imagine going home and telling my wife, hey, honey, I'm going to need you to help me paint the field.
You know, I tried that once, and she
botch punt.
Oh, that one's going to go out of bounds. I think they'll mark it at about the 41. They're trying to line it up, and I called the 41. They're going to mark it 44. At about the 43, maybe the 44. So about 25 lost yards in hidden field position, maybe 30 after the fair catch now turned to muff. And Pinecrest set up in great field position, 3:15 to go.
Starting on the Cavaliers' 44-yard line.
Boy, with this long holiday weekend coming up, I'm going to grab myself some Zaxby's and sit around my Pentair taken care of pool with the family.
I tell you, Trent, I had some Zaxby's tonight for supper before I came, and their sweet and spicy wings were delicious.
Well, I'm a tongue towards guy myself. We saw balls out. Balls out, and tried to scoop it. Actually, did the Cavaliers get to it?
It looks like it.
They're going to unpile them.
3 white
Cavalier players seem to think they've got it, and they do.
They do.
First down, Cavaliers going the other way. They'll take over at the 48. A little bit of a momentum swing here. Just over 3 minutes left in the half. Cavaliers have life. And Garbach, that's one of those, man, you tell them just
fall on it.
Just fall on it.
Just fall on it.
Just fall on it. But a playmaker trying to make plays, and didn't work out well. And apparently, you know, it's time for people to make an exodus to the concessions.
Should have put in our order when she came.
Yeah.
Where's our server? Server.
All right, Harrington with 2 men in the backfield. Takes snap, hands up the belly, and Keyshawn Mays, tough running, gets back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
We're looking at 2:50 left. Southern League going to slow this clock down a little bit and try to go into half, hopefully with a score and minimal time left on the clock for the Pinecrest Patriots.
Well, Coach Neal normally runs a methodical offense. Now they may be looking with a special eye on the clock. In a perfect world, you'd like to get a score here and run this clock down to nothing and not give it back to Pinecrest. Harrington from the gun takes a snap, hands to the belly. Mays with a little bit of space, bounces it outside.
Still going.
He's close to a first down. Dragging tacklers, he'll have it. Gain of 11 on the play. First down, Cavaliers.
Mays has done a heck of a job today. That's his second run this half for over 11 yards.
Dragging 3 Patriots with him to get across the first down marker. Good run there by Mays.
All right, Nate, for those who have not been caught up and churched up on what's going on with the rules, tell folks at home what's going on with play clocks in North Carolina high school football.
In play clocks now, we used to have the 25-second clock where when the official, and we'll pick that up after this play.
All right, Harrington going to keep it himself, slides.
That was a little late hit there. Late hit.
Well,
you're not going to get
the
that
same
call
protection. This isn't the NFL, buddy.
I'm not going to get that call.
Not on the road. He's going to get 4, so 2nd and 6 coming up.
But after previously, the ball would be set, and then the head judge would start the play clock by motioning of the wheel in his arm. Now, once the ball is called from the previous play, a 40-second clock starts, and they have 40 seconds clear cut from there. It takes out the variation in setting the ball and starting the clock from our white hat.
All right, Harrington's from the gun. Hands to Mays. One more time up the middle. Going to go nowhere. Fights forward, gets 2. 3rd and 4 coming up. Big play in the ball game for the Southern Lee Cavaliers. Up, and we're going to get a timeout.
Have a timeout.
Yeah, 58 seconds left. Coach Neal wants to talk about it. The Cavaliers get that timeout, or was it Coach Metzger trying to get the ball back?
I believe it was Coach Metzger.
All right, Pinecrest with a little strategizing going on.
58 and a half seconds left. I'm sure he wants the ball back with a shot downfield.
All right.
He wants to kick a field goal.
He might.
Ooh, I think we lost you, Chris.
Am I back? There
you are.
Here I go. I tell you, a couple of years ago, I was here with the crew, and Pinecrest attempted about a 62-yard field goal in regulation in the flow of the game. And the kicker had enough leg and pulled it just a little bit wide left.
I think their kicker has that leg again.
Hate to see it.
It might be the same
62.
kicker's leg.
I don't know what the state record is, but I imagine that's there.
And we watched him in pregame. We commented on it in pregame. He was hitting from 60 with no problem, plenty of room to spare.
60's no joke.
No.
I mean,
you saw Carly Lloyd, U.S. women's soccer star, hitting from 55 the other day.
Dude, I'd offer her a contract right now with the state of kickers in the NFL.
That would not work out well for you, and I'll tell you why after this play. Harrington takes the snap, fakes, now little jump pass. He's got a man, caught
first down.
Moving tacklers down to the inside the 20. They're going to mark it at the 19.
All right, Chris, tell us why signing Carly Lloyd would be unsuccessful.
Well, if you watch her kick that 55-yard field goal, she took about a 5-step run-up.
Yeah. Well,
no chance that's going to play in the NFL.
No.
Now, if she were able to
3-step,
shorten that, and she could do a 2 or 3 step, and you've got some kickers that really only do 1, might be onto something. All right, Harrington looking for Lockley. Ooh. And threw into coverage. Defender didn't play that one all that well, but Lockley can't get to it. So clock stopped, 38 seconds left. 2nd and 10 coming up from the 19. That's the issue. And you know, it's almost harmful when you talk about the equity or inequity in sports, where you talk about all of the issues with how the U.S. women's national team has been perceived to have been treated. And they have other people that are jumping on. They're like, well, look, the NFL won't consider giving her a deal. They don't understand what they're looking at in this instance. Now,
Absolutely.
Trent will tell you, on radio, I've been a huge proponent. I think the U.S. women's national team ought to make 15 times more than the men do.
Because they're a heck of a lot better.
They are, and they say, well, you know, the sponsorship's not there, blah, 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 blah. People aren't turning out. I think that U.S. soccer's failing, personally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you told me, hey, Chris Delambert, go spend full time selling the U.S. women's brand, I could do a better job than they do, period. All right, 31 seconds. Pinecrest gets another timeout.
3rd down and 6.
Big play again. I think we just said that, big play in the ball game.
On the 15.
Little jump pass from Harrington last time they faced 3rd down here that worked out really well.
So we can give the referees microphones, but we can't keep the scoreboard from working right here in Pinecrest.
What's going on with the scoreboard?
Well, look, it just says 3rd down, ball on the whatever, nothing, 2nd quarter.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It's ridiculous.
Interesting.
You should file a complaint with the concessions lady when she comes back.
I'm going to mind my business. All right, 3rd and 6 coming up from the 15. Cavaliers really, really, really need a big play here. Pinecrest will be receiving the ball to start the second half. You don't want to go in. You really don't want to go into half down 3 touchdowns, but you especially don't want to go in 3 touchdowns down, and Pinecrest back with football again.
Absolutely. You have to also know this is 4-down territory for the Cavaliers,
without a doubt.
21-point spread. You have to go for 4 here.
Looking at got a procedure penalty coming. Harrington scrambles, gets away. He's going to have the first down, but that's coming back, and I think they're going to get an illegal shift.
Oh. Shooting themselves in the foot.
What do we have here? This one hurts. Nice running by Harrington there.
Fearless running, diving for that first down.
Oh, no, sir.
No, it was on Pinecrest jumping, huh?
I don't know. Trent, I'm not sure how they can make that call, and I'm not sure Coach Metzger does either.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. He flinched, but then got reset before we snapped the ball. So
I don't understand how that call was on the defense, but we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cavaliers, they're set up shop now, down inside the 10-yard line. They're going to mark the ball at about the 6. Now, first and goal coming. You've got 23 seconds left. Couple of timeouts in your pocket.
Now, last week we saw the Cavaliers struggle in the red zone 2 times, one of them being on the 1-yard line and one right about the 20 line, not being able to put it in. Tonight we saw them score from well outside of the red zone, so we'll see how this red zone offense has improved for the Cavaliers.
And he's going to spike the ball and preserve a timeout. So second down coming at the 4-yard line, 21 seconds left. And
I don't understand.
Nate, I don't have a clue what's going on. They had the ball spotted at the 4. Now they're going to spot it at the 6. Now they're going to move back to the 4 again. I'm not 1,000% how the ball got to the 4 in the first place, because it wasn't at the 8 before that. I don't know. I'm confused.
Well,
help me out, Coach. Help me out, Coach.
They spotted it at the 6 for the spike.
No, I've got it.
I don't know.
Like I said, I'm not certain how we ended up at the 4 in the first place. But anyway, ball's at the 4, second and goal. 21 seconds left in the half. Harrington looking, scrambling, had a little space. Now it's gone.
Throw it away.
Flips it up. Elijah Fox can't go up and get it. Nice thought, because he put it where only Fox was going to have a chance to make a play on it.
Harrington was whacked on the play.
Yes, he was,
there by
sir.
the Pinecrest Patriots.
All right, 15 and a half seconds left in the half. Plenty of time for 2 plays here. Although the scoreboard doesn't reflect it, Southern's got at least 1 timeout left.
I do believe you're correct
The
here.
scoreboard is reflecting they have none, but I don't believe that's correct.
We do see some personnel changes here. Number 3 and number 4, Tanoa Lockley and E.J. Fox coming out. You have to think they're going to a heavy set here.
Well, they're going to take 1 crack up the middle.
That's
get that time
not
out.
the answer.
Picked up and dumped.
That is not the answer.
So nothing on the play. Going to lose a couple. Going to get a timeout here. There we go. And 4th down. See if Coach Neal wants to go for the touchdown here on the last.
In my opinion, Chris, you have to go for the touchdown.
And they're
here.
not. Here comes
And
Pisano onto the field.
Well, you should fire me.
5.5 seconds left. Daniel Pisano on to attempt the field goal. The last time the Cavaliers did this, it did not turn out well and actually went the other way for points.
Disastrous, I think, would be an adjective I would use there.
Disastrous is a fair assessment, sir. All right, and I'm sure as this Southern Lee staff goes onto the field to talk to this field goal team, they have got to be reiterating, you have got to block this up the middle. Anything akin to what we saw at the last field goal attempt would really break this ball game open. So
that would be a knife in the heart for the Cavaliers.
Fingers crossed for Southern Lee fans here
if this goes south
as they line this up. Cavalier Nation is with you, Mr. Pisano.
Yeah, we need these points.
Field goal here cuts the lead.
I stole that from
18.
the radio side. Sorry. I heard him say we need these points. So.
Well, it was as good when you said it as it was when Mike Fowler said it. So, and I'm not sure if it was Mike or Denny that said it. We're actually.
It was Mike. I steal all Mike's lines.
This is almost like I don't even know what this is like.
What are we doing?
What was it? Was it Elton John that did the album Two Rooms, where him and his
Bernie,
Bernie, whatever.
Bernie Mac
were in different.
Turpin.
I don't think it was Bernie Mac. It could have been.
Bernie Turpin?
Bernie Taupin.
Whatever his name
Yes,
is.
Bernie Taupin.
He was with
So
him,
Two Rooms. This is what this is like. Nate and I are actually outdoors. And Trent is seated.
I'm seated in
the
press
cozy
box.
confines of the press box.
Yes, with the radio crew, which is amazing because I may end up saying something smart here during this game. Because I'm reading over their shoulders and listening to the pros that have been doing this for a heck of a lot longer than me.
That is
which this could have been their third game, and that would have been a heck of a lot longer
well,
than me.
Trent, to be fair, though, you've had a chance to sit and listen to me do this, and I've been doing it for much longer than Mike has. Not Denny. Denny's been doing it for a million years. And Denny's like a legit Division I football star from back in the day, played at the University of Cincinnati and has been a football coach and athletic coach for a million years. So I got nothing on him. And that thing, how did he get it out of there? Pisano is wide left.
And there's a penalty.
There's a flag. Are they going to get him running into the kicker?
Yep.
Oh, boy. Coach Metzger
not happy. And they're going to get the personal foul. That's an automatic first down. Southern going to get one more crack at this with 1 second left on the clock. Coach Metzger is hot.
I'm very impressed with the way that the Coach Metzger dresses for the game.
As am I, Trent. As am I.
I don't see that a lot in high school sports with the tie and the shirt. He should be coaching basketball.
You see a lot of pullovers.
Yep.
He does look a little bit more like a college basketball coach. Nate, I'm going to tell you what. We've seen 2 field goal attempts now from Southern Lee.
Why don't
I'm scared to death.
for it?
I'm scared to
Golly,
death.
just go for it.
I'm scared, brother. That pressure is coming right up the gut, and I am really, really concerned.
And I tell you,
here we go, Southern. Ball's down, kicks up. It's high, it's short, and it's good. Great job of Pisano at the gun. Cutting into the lead. It'll go 28-10. Pinecrest into the field house for halftime. You're watching Southern Lee visiting the Pinecrest Patriots. It's halftime. We will see you on the other side of the break and talk about what we've seen up to this point.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. Hi, I'm David Fashee, and we are First Bank.
Guys, it's back! Inline skating.
Rock and roll hair.
Calling this thing a pound sign instead of a hashtag?
No, the sensation is back at Zaxby's.
The Zensation Salad is back, and introducing the new Zensation Filet Sandwich Meal with hand-breaded chicken, Asian slaw, wonton strips, and citrus vinaigrette, both served with an egg roll. The Zensation Salad and Filet Sandwich Meal, only at Zaxby's.
Welcome to the Classic Nissan Halftime Report.
Southern Lee stayed in it. They looked a couple of times like they might be about to get run out of here, but they have managed to keep this thing respectable. They go into halftime down 28-10. Pinecrest will get the ball to start the second half. Pinecrest, a team with a clear athletic advantage that has made big plays when they needed to, but has not been able to get out of their own way. Penalty after penalty after penalty. They had the pick. If they'd have played a clean half, this could have been ugly.
Absolutely.
But Southern's kept themselves in with a puncher's chance by playing good football and making a couple of big plays. You had the big 80-yard touchdown pass to Elijah Fox. To Noah Lockley comes up with a pick. They've made just enough big plays. They got to tackle on defense, though, brother.
Got to. We'd like to see definitely more of swarming to the ball for the Cavaliers. That front four of their defensive line has not really been a factor tonight so far. We haven't heard many names called of Elijah Barrett or Cedric Douglas. So up front, we definitely like to see a little bit more out of there. And their linebacker play has to be able to pick up when Pinecrest goes into their spread, their doubles offense. We've got to see that picked up a little bit more. I'm sure Coach Patterson, their defensive coordinators, going to get them right at halftime on that.
Well, you said you wanted to see him swarm to the ball. I'd love to see him swarm to the ball, but I'm also concerned that once you get to the ball, you need to tackle someone because Zaheem Kelly, oh, my gosh, I wish I were tracking. Actually, I'm glad I'm not tracking broken tackles for that young man because I'd have writer's cramp. Dozens in the first half. Very dynamic athlete doing everything. Returned the kick for the block kick for a touchdown. Had an interception last week. This week has the long touchdown pass. Great athlete. And they're finding, to Coach Metzger's credit, finding ways to get him involved in this non-traditional. I don't even know what this offense is.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. I don't think Southern Lee, their defensive line hasn't been involved because
they don't know where
they're not seeing anything that you would expect to see, even though it's hard to plan off
this
of.
offense, part of this offense looks like the passing game anyway, looks like Southern Lee circa 5 years ago, where they're going to spread you out, get the ball out immediately, right now. And Pinecrest added this wrinkle. I don't know if they did any of this last week or not, but this is nothing like what I expected coming in.
No.
I'm not sure that the Southern Lee staff did either. We'll see if they can adjust at halftime. And when it's all said and done, if those adjustments are made, what we might see is Pinecrest get right back into what they do normally, which is run the veer. And we haven't seen the traditional veer more than a snap or two this entire game. Interesting. Interesting games afoot. I'm Chris Delambert. This is Professor Trent Nichols, Coach Nate Cochrane. We'll be back with the second half. Guys, you have anything to add before we go into the break?
No.
All right. We'll see you on the other side with the second half.
Are you ready to sell your home and don't know which realtor to choose? Well, not all realtors are the same. I'm Crystal Copas, and I don't just stick a sign in the yard, throw it in the MLS, and hope to collect a commission. I provide a customized marketing plan that includes professional staging, photography, videography, and drone at no cost to you. Contact me, Crystal Copas, with RE/MAX Real Estate Service, and let's get your house sold. 919-356-5402.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
New Image Media presents the NFHS Game of the Week. Brought to you by Crossroads Ford. Big city deals from a dealer with a hometown feel.
It's my favorite time of the year. Football is back. I would like to personally invite you to come down for your next new or pre-owned vehicle purchase. With one of the largest new and pre-owned inventories in the area, come see us today for discounts that the competition simply can't match or beat. If you drive in Sanford, why not buy in Sanford? Come see me, the deal maker. Come and get that big town deal with that small town feel right here at Crossroads Ford in Sanford.
Some scores around the Tri-County Conference. Western Hornet is up at halftime against Smithfield-Selma Senior, 14-6. Union Pines is down to St. Paul, 21-7. And Triton hanging in there with Southview, 13-6.
All right, last update we had on the Lee County game was 60-0. They've gone to halftime now. It's into the third quarter, the running clock. Northwood trying to get out of there before it gets too much worse. All right.
Looks like we're going to see traditional Pinecrest veer coming back under center.
Nick Garbach at quarterback. Two running backs right behind him, tucked up in there. Takes a look, see what he's working with. Two wide receivers right. Garbach hands up the middle, and it's going for a big gain.
Gosh.
As they pick up 15 Number 21 on the carry, Nick Bollinger. Bollinger's had a nice night quietly.
Yeah.
He's a senior, 5'9", 170 pounds.
That was just inside veer, guys. That's all that was. Just hit the hole hard and fast, and he broke through very quickly.
Well, and the reason you've got those backs tucked up so tight to the quarterback is you're trying to get him there that much quicker into that hole. And he hit it just fine that time. Garbach takes a snap. This time, Bollinger will work around the left side. Going to pick up a few. Nice hard hit there after a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 coming up.
We got a flag on the play in the backfield here.
Garbach through the helmet seems to be rolling his eyes. He disagrees with whatever's being called here. Spot
Holding.
foul, so it's a hold.
He has the traditional head bob, Chris.
The head bob. So 10-yard penalty. They're going to mark it from the 46. This is going to take it back all the way to the 44 on the other side of the 50.
That is a drive killer.
Well, hadn't been thus far. Pinecrest has had plenty of these 1st and 23s, 24s throughout the game and has yet to punt. All right, Garbach from the veer, hands up the middle. Bollinger stuffed, and a big play. Number 44, John Wilson on the stop. First time we've called his name tonight, and that's as good a play from a defensive lineman as we've seen yet today, I think.
That was a good heads-up tackle.
Yes, sir.
Got his helmet across the chest plate and drove him all the way through. John Wilson, a sophomore, coming in at 6 feet even, 200 pounds, coming in at middle linebacker. They're excited about this young man.
All right.
They think he could be the next.
Garbach drops, throws, picked. Yes,
To
sir,
Noah
to Noah Lockley. You hang it up there. That young man will make you pay. And the second time, Garbach has floated one out there. And the second time, to Noah Lockley, has taken it the other direction.
I tell you, Chris, I would not want to be number 4 Nick Garbach right now, because that ball was floated. You were exactly correct. Cavaliers coming out. Let's see how they come out, see if they get back in their triple option or spread it out into doubles.
See if I can do this the way I used to. That'll be another Cavalier first down.
Oh, boy, that sounds
going the
good.
other way. All right, 33-yard line. Moving right to left in the white uniforms, the Southern Lee Cavaliers have made a change at quarterback. And they're going to get a timeout.
Who is this young man, number 1?
That is a great question. We don't have a number 1 on our roster.
Nope.
So who might this be as everybody in the press box goes scrambling? Kenyon Palmer? Or is that DeAndre McAllister?
I
think
would
that's
assume DeAndre McAllister.
That's who that is.
Yeah.
DeAndre McAllister in at quarterback for the Cavaliers. So a little bit of a wrinkle.
A little bit more mobile of a quarterback than Thomas
mobile.
Harrington.
A lot more mobile. He'll line up with Mays in the backfield at the fullback position. And is Lockley still in there at tailback? I believe so.
Yes, sir.
All right. So a very mobile, good set of athletes here in the backfield. They're going to go right back to their bread and butter, which is Mays up the middle. Mays will get a yard, maybe. All right, Nate. This is a bit of a surprise.
There we go, yeah. DeAndre McAllister, looking at him from where he was when he came in as a freshman, he was a little bit on the shorter side. Looking now, he looks like he has really put on some pounds. So maybe what they're doing in the weight room is working for him. Good-looking kid there.
Well, does this signal that we're going to see a more rush-centric offense, or?
Well, DeAndre can throw the ball as well.
Okay.
So I would assume more rush-heavy,
Right,
but he
McAllister
has
looking
been
down the field. And, throws it up there, a 50-50 ball. And Palmer unable to make the play. I tell you what, that's a couple of times now. Kenyon Palmer has been the only man really in the route, or at least the primary target. Little bit of a surprise maybe.
That was thrown behind him, though.
That play was disjointed from the snap. mishandled by McAllister. He never got his feet set and just sort of winged it out there, and hoping for Palmer to go up and make a play. So big third down here, 3rd and 10. 4 wide receivers in the formation for the Cavaliers. McAllister looking, tries to get it out of there quick. Has got Fox. Fox going to have to do a lot of work. Going backwards.
Ooh, swallowed up by a gang
takes
of
a big
Patriots.
hit late, and by the time it's all said and done, loses 4. And that's just a beat too slow.
That's right.
That ball's got to come out just a beat quicker to give Fox any kind of chance. But that extra step the defense had showed in their ability to get there and shut it down for nothing. And now kind of an interesting thing going on right now. You've got 4th and 14 here.
Looks like Harrington is back at quarterback. Have to wonder if he's going to do his little pooch thing.
Harrington is not back at quarterback.
No.
Harrington's split out left as a wide receiver. McAllister's in there. And here we go.
There we are.
Now there we go. So McAllister's going out wide.
I don't know what they have going on.
I don't either.
I don't know.
And I don't know if they know what's
They
going
didn't even
on.
have a punter back there.
Because that's not
Harrington.
Yeah, that's not Harrington. Harrington's still out of the ball game. I am looking to see I don't see Harrington on the sideline. I wonder if there is an injury. We'll try to get an update.
It's number 2, Kenyon Palmer back there. Another time calling his name tonight.
And Palmer, low snap, going to take off and try to make
Boy.
something out of nothing, goes nowhere. Going to be forced out at the 27 where it'll be Pinecrest ball, and that just didn't go well. That's a tough one. That's a tough pill to swallow for the Cavaliers.
Looking at it over at the Cavalier sideline, I do not see Harrington. I'm not guaranteeing he's not there, but I do not see him, and I do see their athletic trainer there.
Well,
So-
and the other thing that's going on over on the sideline that is of interest is Daniel Pisano is warming up taking punts.
There's inside veer again from the Patriots.
So Harrington, who has been playing quarterback and punting for the first time forever, Daniel Pisano is behind the Southern Lee bench, punting the football. We've got to get our crack stuff out there and figure out what's happened here, Trent.
Man. Where's our sideline reporter?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Pinecrest with this power run game. Be taken down at about the 16. And that'll be a Pinecrest first down from the looks of it. 8:26.
This is getting
Pinecrest back into the Zaxby's, or excuse me, the Remax red zone. The Remax red zone. Old habits die hard. All right, Garbot under center. Takes the snap, hands inside, running through a tackle inside the 10. Second down coming for the Patriots.
number 15, Trevor Schwab, on the tackle there for the Cavaliers. We're starting to see a little bit more traditional with the Pinecrest veer offense here. You have to wonder if they're not so confident in their spread right now. So we're seeing a lot of inside veer and midline here. And they seem to be having their way with the Cavaliers on the offensive side.
All right, up the middle one more time.
That's
and
a
Bollinger
touchdown.
in there for a touchdown, Patriots. Making it look too easy, Nate.
Ooh. Well, they had great field position, and they capitalized on that drive, that's for sure.
All right, 7:31. That took all of 4.5 minutes. Well, I guess, Southern had the ball in there too. So I'm just talking crazy.
I got an update from our guy on the coaching staff tonight, and he says that Harrington has a minor injury that is not incredibly concerning, but they're not wanting to play him and get him hurt more.
All right, fair enough.
So I don't know if we'll see him again tonight or not. I would assume no.
All right. We'll be back with the kick on the other side of the break. Pinecrest stretching the lead out to 35-10, 7:31 left in the third quarter.
Guys, it's back! Inline skating.
Rock and roll hair?
Calling this thing a pound sign instead of a hashtag?
No, the sensation is back at Zaxby's.
The Zensation Salad is back, and introducing the new Zensation Filet Sandwich Meal with hand-breaded chicken, Asian slaw, wonton strips, and citrus vinaigrette, both served with an egg roll. The Zensation Salad and Filet Sandwich Meal, only at Zaxby's.
All right, we're back. The NFHS Game of the Week. Southern Lee visiting the Pinecrest Patriots here in Moore County, North Carolina. And it's a hand injury to Thomas Harrington that's got him out of the ball game. The Southern Lee coaching staff told us they think that it's a minor nick, but they just as soon not put him back out there and risk the rest of the season. As we said in the opening, Southern will play more important games this year than this visit to Pinecrest.
Absolutely.
So, Trent Nichols with the scoop there. Not really. He doesn't know that, Nate found out while you were running down the way. But you did get more specifics for us, so we do appreciate the effort.
I climbed on the roof for nothing.
We're proud of you, Trent.
That was pretty good. Yeah, Nate did not know that it was a hand injury. So, DeAndre McAllister back in at quarterback. And, for a game like this, Nate, how many reps, what percentage of the reps do you think McAllister got getting ready this week?
If I was going to guess, 20%.
Okay.
20 to 25%. You definitely want him getting some reps. He is the quarterback of the future, they believe, there at Southern Lee High School. And so, obviously, Thomas is your guy, but you've got to prepare.
So which would you think is the fairer statement? That he can do all of the things that Harrington can do, just not quite as good, or that he can just do fewer things as good as Harrington than the real thing? Which do you think is the accurate statement?
Boy, this is a hard question to answer. You asking the hard questions. I think DeAndre can do everything that Thomas can do, just he doesn't have the experience that Thomas has. So sometimes at times it'll seem that he doesn't have the talent. He is a very talented young man, and so I definitely think with more reps, more practice, more experience, I definitely think he could be there.
Well, he has been thrown in the lion's den.
Yeah, this is
against as stout a defense as he could have seen this year, with possibly one exception hanging out the last week of the season for this Cavalier squad. But this is a tough spot to be in without a full week of preparation, because everybody was short on time to prepare.
Absolutely.
You got to remember, they played a ball game 4 days ago.
They played Monday night.
So
and Pinecrest played Saturday. So they had a
couple more days,
but that's still a short week.
Well, and the odd thing about that is, not that it's a huge deal, but Southern wanted to play on Saturday and actually had a problem with scheduling for Monday because there was a soccer game, but then they got essentially rained out again on Saturday and had to push to Monday. So, 4 weeks to prepare to go on the road to play a bigger school. That's a tough deal. And Mr. McAllister, though, is never going to forget this, and he's getting valuable experience. All right, so Pisano is on to punt, and he's not very far from the line of scrimmage. There's not a whole lot of rush comes. That is a high punt. Man, that brings rain. And there goes Zaheem Kelly, who's been the most dynamic player on the field.
And
he's into the end zone.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Boy, I tell you, he's fun.
He is an electric kid, Chris.
He is fun to watch.
He was running that back. Somebody pressed the triangle button.
Yeah.
And he juked right by.
He did this stop and go. Y'all see him stop, turn his shoulders.
That was a right, left,
and he
right,
kept going.
Woo! Putting on the combo.
He had that.
Woo.
He may go all the way.
Well, and talking about combos, that might be one of those Mortal Kombat blood codes right there.
Boom.
Because now down 32 after this extra point, I think Southern Lee is in really, really big trouble.
The writing is on the wall,
Yes,
Chris.
sir.
The writing's on the wall.
Yes, sir.
And when you say combo, that makes me think again of Zaxby's. Friends,
Appreciate all
family, and flavor right there at the Zaxby's.
I tell you what, we say this all the time, and it's not untrue about anybody. But when you say thank you to some of these corporate sponsors that are out there, Rob Pass and what they do at Zaxby's in the community, having been here such a relatively short time, really is nothing short of amazing.
Oh, yeah.
From day one, Zaxby's has been a huge sponsor of high school sports in Lee County. We couldn't do it without you. We really, really appreciate your support. And show them how much you appreciate it. Head on over to Zaxby's. If you're stout enough, if you got the stones for it, go the tongue torch route. That's my go-to.
Boy, I like the sweet and spicy. I'm soft on that.
And
if I'm not mistaken, though, Chris, it is where you host the Monday night coaches show, correct?
We do on Monday evenings. We host the coaches show at 6 o'clock at Zaxby's on site. So if you want to come out and be a part of the festivities, feel free. This being Labor Day weekend, we will be off.
You're off? Okay.
We are off. But every single Monday from this point on, we will be on hand at Zaxby's. We'll give out Player of the Week awards for offense and defense for both Southern Lee and for Southern Lee. Or did I say
Lee County.
I said
Southern Lee and
twice.
Lee County.
You know what? We'll do Southern Lee twice. Lee County doesn't need any stinking trophies. No, First Bank is kind enough to help out with trophies for Players of the Week from both squads. We have a lot of fun. And we wrap the whole thing up at the end of the year and have a big show with the full rosters from all the teams. It's just a lot of fun. We have it with the coaches show.
How awesome.
I'm out there. I'll do 10 or 15 minutes on air with both Coach Ken Neal from Southern Lee and Coach Steve Perdue from the Lee County Yellow Jackets. And, of course, as always, we're looking for those teams to go into the final week of the season. This would be the third year in a row where they're playing for a conference championship in that final game of the year. Lee County more than doing their part so far, brother.
I'll ask you the hard question here,
yes,
Chris.
Sir. Go ahead.
Since your vote on this is a lot heavier than mine.
All right.
Preliminary Players of the Week offensive defensively for the Cavaliers. Now, we don't know about Lee County because we don't know any of their stats.
Well, defensively, Tanoa Lockley's got 2 picks.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
Absolutely.
On offense, I like what I've seen from Keshawn Mays.
Okay.
Who's in doing spot duty, man. He didn't know he was going to get significant carries. So I would say Keshawn Mays is the player of the week thus far on offense. Good hard running between the tackles, which is not easy to do.
No.
You got to be fearless, stick your nose in there, and he hasn't been hesitant, so I like that.
And as a third-string guy coming in, not really anticipating to play much, and, he's obviously starting on the defensive side of the ball. Yep. I like your picks so far.
Right.
I don't disagree with you.
And it's not taking anything away. Elijah Fox made a big play on offense, But, yeah, Keshawn Mays would be my guy up to this point. And we're counting down pretty close to the fourth quarter here. McAllister takes, wraps.
Swallowed up.
Bad read there, but that happens.
This Patriot defense has really pinned their ears back. I don't think they're anticipating much in the passing game left from the Cavaliers.
They're not, and I'm going to tell you that the triple option relies on misdirection and bad reads from the defense, but when you're only running 2 or 3 different plays out of that option and you've got an inexperienced quarterback,
yeah,
not a good recipe.
Well, and I tell you, Pinecrest really has the upper edge on this hand because they practice against this every week. Every day at practice. They've done it all summer.
They've been doing it for
years.
Since they played junior high ball down here.
Yeah, these kids know exactly
looking for
what
Elijah Fox and should have been picked. Can't reel it in.
Elijah playing more DB there than wide receiver, just trying to break up the pass.
Yeah.
We're watching the Cavalier players. You never like to see it, but they are starting to
a little bit of
jaw
frustration
with each
going
other.
on. That's not good.
That's not what you want to see week 2.
No.
Or ever. We'll preface that by or ever.
No, Pisano back there to punt, and Pinecrest has called the dogs off. They're only going to rush 4 here, and that's over his head. No, nothing good is going to happen here. He rolls out of the back of the end zone for a safety. So that'll stretch the lead to 44-10, and Pinecrest about to get the ball back. And I tell you, you got to be aware of what's going on around you there because they could have lollipopped that snap back there. Rushing 4, Pinecrest wasn't even going to come after the punt. I think Coach Metzger has kind of called the dogs off here.
Yeah. Well, we're really starting to see the Cavaliers a little bit self-destruct here. Their center play today has been fairly good. We've seen some low snaps, so that's really the first high snap we've seen today from the Cavaliers. But it's easy, especially something in long snapping is a very technical art. It really takes someone special to be really good at it, and you get tired and you're getting beat up and sore.
You know what?
It can go awry real quick.
Southern Lee has had some great long snappers come through here.
Oh, absolutely.
Not the least of which, Jack Quiggle.
Jack Quiggle at NC State.
At NC State.
Yep.
So, dads, if you've got a son and you want to teach him an athletic skill that'll pay for college, long snapping, not a bad one. Not a bad one to start with.
Well, my son is almost 7 months old, and we're not quite to long snapping yet, but it won't be long, Chris.
Hey.
It won't be long.
If I had sons that I could raise to play a particular position in a sport, long snapping would be on the list, but I tell you what, I would teach my kids to be catchers in baseball. It's the quickest route to the major leagues because nobody wants to be a catcher anymore.
Well, I tell you.
If you're a catcher and you can hit it all, you can make a lot of money in the major leagues.
That's true. That is true.
It's not something I just made up on the spot, Nate. I've sit up late at night thinking about that.
Well, Yadier Molina has done really well for himself for a really long time.
Well, you know, it's funny that Yachty, I remember when Yachty was a kid, he couldn't hit a lick. And now he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, he's this icon. But Yachty was a defense-only guy for the first, 5, 6, 7 years of his career and just steadily has hit a little bit more and hit a little bit more and hit a little bit more and actually has been respected as an offensive threat. And then when you look at the numbers, you're like, he didn't really do it.
Yeah, he's a defensive guy.
But he's no Mike Piazza.
Whoa, now there's a throwback. I like it. Old school Mets player, Hall of Fame. As a Cubs fan.
Trent's looking at me with his face twisted up. Say again? I suppose they could. Trent asking me a question with his microphone off that I have to answer with my microphone on, which is kind of a weird thing.
We have two high school football games that say their final at halftime. One was Lee County won 60-0, and another school won 42-0.
Is there a mercy rule?
Yeah, I know. That's what I was asking you guys.
I don't necessarily think there is a mercy rule, but the coaches can agree that the game is over. The other thing, too, is you have to be careful with those max prep scores because the people that are actually entering those scores
are volunteers.
In fact,
maybe they just said it's final because nobody's coming back.
And I don't know. We'll try to get an update. I know that our radio counterparts have a crew over there. John Hockaday will be doing the game for Lee County tonight, so we'll be able to get a definitive answer. In fact, rather than waiting on them to get it, I think I'll just go ahead and contact Mr. Hockaday myself.
I can tell you, Trent, that coaches can agree to call a game early. The 42-point running clock rule does have to be into effect. I have seen that happen one time in my career. We were at Clinton High School with the JV squad. We only had one bus, and we had about 4 guys get injured, the last one going to the hospital, and we called it midway through the third. So you can do it if agreed upon. And inside veer. I don't think he's gone, but
nice run.
A heck of an inside veer there from who else? Number 7.
Anthony Martin, a senior, 5'3", 150 pounds, out of right here in Moore County.
Give those measurements again one more time, Trent.
He's a senior, 5'3", 150 pounds.
Man.
Well, I tell you, when you're running the veer and you're hitting that inside hole, you look at this front 5 from Pinecrest, 5'3", you can disappear real quick. Those are 5 big boys up front from Pinecrest.
5'3", 150 pounds, playing major high school football in the state of North Carolina, putting up numbers like that. That's saying something right there, bud.
Kid must be pretty tough.
Yeah, I was real impressed with
not pretty tough. No, he must be really, really tough.
I was impressed with the guy in gray that avoided getting taken down by him as he fell out of bounds.
Always a pleasure to watch our Zebra crew tonight. our officials. They're always on their A game down here at Pinecrest.
I thought you were being serious for a second. I thought you were being serious there for a second.
You know, guys, though, officials are really an undervalued group of people because I tell you, there's not a lot of people wanting to get into them.
Watch the replay here.
Oh,
so,
do we have replay?
Yeah, Anthony Martin's running there. He's coming. So then there's this guy right here in gray.
That's definitely not his
watch.
Boom!
Whoa.
What a play!
Nice.
Give that
and
guy
he landed
a helmet.
on his feet.
Yes, jumped out of there. That's what I said. Thank
that's
you,
incredible.
Win, for that replay because it showed the viewing audience that I'm not an idiot. The guy did a really good job avoiding getting leg swept.
Let's be 100% clear. You are an idiot.
I am an idiot.
But that was a good catch.
Yes.
But I don't know if I'm more impressed with the civilian down on the sideline that jumped out of there without getting leg swept or the fact
ball on the ground, picked it up.
And
touchdown.
Takes it in for a touchdown. 5'3", 150 pounds, doing damage. We're going deep. Oh, no, is that
Logan Levierner? Adam Levine's brother.
I am certain. I am 100% certain
that it's not that.
It's not that.
It is.
I'm going to say.
It says Levierner.
No, it doesn't. I'm just going to say see, I can't even do it now. Yeah. Logan Leviner.
Leviner. Logan Levi-ner.
We do apologize,
Mrs. Leviner.
Here,
you know,
Leviner. Image Media.
Leviner spelled backwards is Renivil.
Let me see that name.
That's Renivil. Renivil. Logan scored a touchdown.
Scores 51-10. We are still seeking confirmation as to whether or not the Lee County game was stopped at halftime.
Leviner.
I'm with you. Okay. We got it.
Who knows?
Not I.
Well,
and certainly not Trent Nichols.
If you were part of the Leviner family or Levierner family, we apologize.
I owe you lunch.
We'll take it as Zaxby's.
Yes, sir. All right, Pinecrest to kick, 2:57 left. We're getting close to that magic threshold. The lead is now 41 points. Another score by Pinecrest, and this clock will start to run and never stop again.
Chris, just an observation. We just saw Southern Lee's defensive coordinator remove himself from the box up top where he calls his defense, and he is headed down to the field. So if you're on that Cavalier defense, I would expect a chewing pretty soon.
All right, ball into the end zone.
Touchback.
Southern Lee will take over at the 20.
Or he may have had to use the restroom. One of the two.
One way.
Trent, I doubt that's it.
Regardless of what he needs, whatever he is about to do, he made a serious commitment to, because getting up and down these stairs is no joke.
Not for the faint of heart.
No, sir.
Not for the faint of heart.
No, sir. I am considering rappelling out of here on the way out. It is a brutal climb. I don't know what it is about the cant and size of these stairs, but they're punishing.
And
all
for
right,
what?
McAllister gets it out there, and a little bit of space for the back. Closes down very, very quickly.
Saw another little falter on the snap there.
Well, Steve Cameron on the carry. Everybody's going to get a little bit here.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those nights.
McAllister still in at quarterback. Thomas Harrington out with a bit of an injury. McAllister takes a snap, hands up the middle, a little bit of space. Keyshaw Mays, my choice for player of the game, fights out to the 25, gain of 5 on the play. All right, yet another third down for the Cavaliers. As we count down inside of 2 minutes left in the third quarter. McAllister takes a snap, fakes, tosses it, ball's out.
And
Patriots look to have recovered. First down, Patriots going the other direction.
Cam Newton in the Super Bowl there.
Inside the RE/MAX red zone to start this drive.
Chris, looking ahead, where are we next week?
That's a great question. Where are we?
We are going to.
I believe we're at Lee County.
You caught me off guard. See, you'll learn. You're still new to the game.
I apologize.
You're not supposed to ask questions like that unless you know that I know the answer, because I don't.
Well, you did make the schedule.
I did. However, I have not committed it to memory. We have Douglas Byrd at Lee County.
All right.
Two programs with a storied history. Douglas Byrd used to be a juggernaut.
Oh, yeah.
Lee County is a juggernaut right now. So should be a good matchup. Now that's a matchup of former conference foes.
Oh yeah, old Cape Fear Valley conferences.
Yeah, back in the Cape Fear Valley days, Douglas Byrd and Lee County got each other in every sport every year. And Douglas Byrd now is down there hanging out with Terry Sanford and the rest of those E.E. Smith and the rest of the Fayetteville schools in a more natural geographical conference.
In the Patriot Conference.
Yeah. And Lee County, on the other hand, is dominating
the Tri-County.
The Tri-County 6.
That's right.
And, you know, there are a lot of us who have been pushing for Northwood to join the Tri-County 6 and make it the Tri-County 7, which was the plan all along.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight might have been the end of those hopes as Lee County laid the wood.
Not making a great argument here.
No, not at all.
For their addition.
I'm sure that there's nobody in the football program that is thinking that joining the Tri-County 6 is a good idea.
Well, and then you got to change the name to the Quad County, and it just turns into a clerical nightmare.
I suppose you would have to be the Quad County.
Yeah, that just doesn't have the ring to it.
You know what? Northwood is close enough to Lee County.
Yeah.
You'd be all right. And Chatham County's got enough other schools.
Yeah.
The fact that Northwood did not end up in the county with the two Sanford schools is still a disappointment to me. I just can't even explain to you how disappointing it is. It's such a natural matchup. You've got so much interface and movement back and forth between those two areas. And Northwood, with all of the rest of the schools in Chatham County, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Ball's out again. This game has gotten
ugly,
incredibly sloppy on both sides, as you see substitutes all over the place.
Oh, we have such a crossover people between Sanford and Pittsburgh.
Sure we do.
I mean, my wife works at at Northwood and Pittsburgh 3 times a week. We used to go down and eat down there quite a bit. I mean, it's all the time back and forth.
Well, from my home, I can be to the Carolina Brewery.
That's where we did trivia.
I used to do trivia there every week. I can get to the Carolina Brewery in downtown Pittsburgh, or not even downtown Pittsburgh. It's past downtown Pittsburgh, faster than I get to Walmart in Sanford. So there you go. Not that I ever need to go to Walmart for anything. The clock ticks down, the end of the third quarter. This one's all Pinecrest, 51-10. Cavaliers playing tough. We'll see you on the other side of the break with the fourth quarter.
Guys, it's back! Inline skating.
Rock and roll hair?
Calling this thing a pound sign instead of a hashtag?
No, the sensation is back at Zaxby's.
The Zensation Salad is back, and introducing the new Zensation Filet Sandwich Meal with hand-breaded chicken, Asian slaw, wonton strips, and citrus vinaigrette. Both served with an egg roll. The Zensation Salad and Filet Sandwich Meal, only at Zaxby's.
New Image Media presents the NFHS Game of the Week, brought to you by Crossroads Ford. Big city deals from a dealer with a hometown feel. And Crystal Copus and RE/MAX Real Estate Service. No one sells more homes than RE/MAX.
All right, we got to give a little love to this Pinecrest band. They've been going strong since the very beginning, and it's been a long night for them. We started with the senior night festivities tonight. Crowd is all stuck around. I don't see anybody headed to the parking lot. I kind of wish they would. Make it a little easier for me to get out of here when I do, but looks like we'll all be trying to get out of here at the same time together. But this band's done a great job. Got to say, that's not E.E. Smith, but, good job nonetheless. Nate, are you not even paying any attention to me anymore, buddy?
I am, and I'm trying to come up with a statement about the bands.
Touchdown.
Touchdown Pinecrest.
All right.
And now,
anytime we leave the Lee County vicinity, it makes me sad that our bands are not nearly as good as everyone else's. Because personally, I love a good band. I was never in it. I have no musical ability. I can't even sit there and play drums with my 7-month-old. He's better at it than I am. But, man, I love a good high school pep band.
Well, we'll be making a couple of trips to Union Pines this year.
I can't wait.
Who, for my money, has the best band in the Tri-County Conference.
Oh, what a block there by the Cavaliers.
Blocked, so Cavaliers still playing.
You like to see that, Chris. You like to see your boys still competing. This game is clearly out of reach. It's going up there blocking a point after. That's not a pleasant thing to do. You get hit in the ribs. Then your hand hits the ball, and it hurts. And fighting hard. I like to see it. Number 24, Keyshawn Mays, your offensive player of the game pick as of right now, making that block.
So the clock should start running now for good, huh?
The clock will start running for good at the change of possession. So after the kickoff, when Southern Lee takes possession, that clock will start, and it will never stop until a change of possession.
Yep.
So, gentlemen, bring it on in here. Let's get a little photo.
I was just thinking, we're this time 3 and we haven't done this yet.
There we go. Normally, I get to be the biggest guy in the shot. Nate is like,
I apologize.
Nate's got me feeling little.
I've been on Weight Watchers, and it just doesn't, I just watch the weight continue on.
As much weight as you lose or don't lose, you'll still be a couple inches taller than me, and I don't run into too many people. I guess Robert Bricky, I forget I hang out with Bricky a lot.
He was a basketball player.
He was a basketball player. No, stop. Bricky played at a level where even when he doesn't play anymore, and he is quick to tell you he doesn't play anymore, but when you play at the level he played and you've been in the Final Four, he is a basketball player.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite people in the world. Trent, what do you think?
I would have to agree. I like him better than you or Brandon.
I knew you were going to say that, and I can't blame you because he's a likable fella.
I mean,
Brandon. I have to come by to your studio
one
day and meet him. I've never met him.
Well, we have now moved. We're no longer in our own facility. Now we're on site at WFJA.
Oh, even better.
In something the size of a closet. But, yeah, when all 4 of us are in there, it's a good time. When 3 of us are there, it's a pretty good time. And if it's just 2 of us, we usually want to punch each other in the mouth by the time the show's over.
And I would only assume that's you and Trent.
When it's Trent, you know what? Trent and I have fun because when we're on the show by ourselves, we can talk baseball and nobody tells us to shut up.
Okay.
If either of the other 2 guys is there, you're not going to get as much baseball because they guilt us. They might suffer through a segment or so, but in the breaks they're like, "Dude, you got to stop with that nonsense." And I'm afraid to let Brandon and Trent in the studio by themselves very often because it'll be all hockey all the time, and they'll geek out about the little bit of hockey knowledge that they have.
I don't know.
So what is this sport hockey y'all speak of?
We've only been by ourselves once when you were in that island somewhere.
Yes, I was in Aruba.
Oh,
yeah, that was cool.
Take the wife and enjoy a good time.
Yes. All right, Cavaliers running Keyshawn Mays up the middle, still running hard. I like this young man. I like him a lot. And you don't know what the rest of the season is going to look like. Hopefully you get Ingram and Locklear back. But to know that you've got a young man that can plug right in there and be part of the rotation, nothing bad about that.
No, not at all. And has been, with your third string, you hope for serviceable at best. And I will tell you, Mr. Mays here has been more than serviceable to impressive.
Sure he has.
I don't think when Rodney Ingram comes back, I don't think he's starting over Rodney. But I think he is definitely a serviceable athlete here.
Well, sir, I'm not sure there's more than 2 or 3 players in this region that would start over Rodney Ingram.
No.
Rodney Ingram is a horse.
Yes, he is. And he has been a horse.
There's
since
Elijah
he got
Fox
there.
coming around the edge. Oh, gets
Ooh.
upended.
It's also real nice to see Mays. Mays
Gets 8
is a
first
senior.
down.
He's a senior
Yes.
this year.
Well,
Rodney,
only his second year playing football.
yeah, and
Showed up as a
Rodney is
junior.
only a junior.
Yeah. Rodney Ingram has been out there doing it since he was a freshman and has gotten better and better and bigger and stronger. And he is a lot of fun to watch run. He's not going to break very many things over 20 yards because he's just looking. He's like
he turns into it.
Boy, he's looking for somebody to hit.
He will turn into contact.
Yes.
He loves it.
Yes, he does. 8.5 minutes to go. Clock continue to run. And there goes Mays one more time. It's going to pick up about 3. That'll bring up 2nd and 7. Now people are starting to head to the exits. Pinecrest up 57-10. A little over 8 minutes left.
I'm giving my game ball to Mr. Reinhardt.
All right.
I love a good pick of an
Yeah.
offensive lineman.
I've enjoyed.
All
He
right.
has
I love
been
it.
engaged and done a great job all game long.
That's a big man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Caden Reinhardt, the senior, he has been impressive. I really hope he keeps on
McAllister
playing.
pitches. Fox cuts it back to the middle. Picking his way around. Going to be wrapped up right about the line of scrimmage.
At over 6 feet and 320 pounds, you have to wonder, is someone looking at that young man?
Man,
you gotta be.
That big. Somebody's going to have him play football for him.
And he's athletic. If you watch him every play, I've been drawn to him almost every play. And he's downfield. He's running. He's like, he's an athlete.
Well, I've had a lot of college coaches tell me, you can coach a lot of things, but you can't coach size.
No, sir. All right, Mays dragging tackler is going to be short. Brings up 4th and 3 here. See what Coach Neal does.
I see Daniel
And
Pisano coming on.
Walking out onto the field. Pinecrest fully cleared their bench at this point. Southern would like to fully clear their bench, but doesn't have enough players that they can really do that. And that's not being funny. That's just the state of affairs. When you dress about 35 players, you're not going to be very deep.
So looking through Twitter, trying to catch up on some games, looks like Southview has taken a very large lead over Triton High School.
Oh, blocked.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's still loose.
And
Down at the
down.
7-yard line.
Southview up 41-18 over Triton. And it does appear that the Lee County Northwood game was called. 910 Preps has Lee County 60, Northwood nothing. Richmond County coming in at a 33-0 win over Anson County.
Josh Little's there, the senior linebacker, about to score what probably would have been his first high school touchdown. Oh, dragged down. Boy, I'm sure eyes big as pie plate.
Oh, I'm sure he was
in there.
ecstatic.
Good hustle by the Cavaliers to track him down. 5.5 to go. 57-10. Pinecrest set up shop. Number 12 in at quarterback.
Chris, you were talking earlier about some JV teams that could beat varsity teams, and I'm not saying this is a scenario here, but you look at this Pinecrest offense who's on the field now. This is definitely not their starting group. This is a whole new group of young men.
Hands and a ball carrier. I tell you, each one of these guys in here trying to get that touchdown.
Absolutely.
Down to the 1-yard line. And that is number, I can't even get, there you go. Number 33 checked into the game. That is not on my roster.
Me neither.
Nope, not on mine either.
That's pretty deep into the bench when you when you got tailbacks. It's one thing to have somebody check in at defensive back or on the offensive line, but you got somebody actually getting a carry. All right, there's the hand. Mishandled, and Lucky didn't put that on the ground.
Bobble on the mesh
Covers
point
it
there.
up, and it'll be taken down at the 5. 3rd down and goal coming from there.
You know, it's really good to watch this Pinecrest sideline and see all these young men getting excited for their teammates who go out there. They sweat all June, July, and May like everyone else does, and they support their teammates week in, week out, knowing they're probably not going to get on the field. And to see the Pinecrest starters and their number ones cheering on the second, third string guys, nothing better than high school sports. Chris.
Wow. Takes on a tackler. There's a face mask going to extend this drive. It's really getting a little chippy over there. And I tell you, this is a tale of two sidelines. As you look at the Pinecrest players jumping around for their teammates, you look across the way, and it's a completely different scene.
You're wondering who the last man standing is going to be on the Cavalier sideline.
Well, you've got 3 or 4 players that are on the sideline engaged. The bench is full. This is an interesting, a wild scene over on that side of the field. All right, so
Atkins goes under center.
Right up the middle, and
still a little short.
Still short. Now, the sticks on the field say 4th down, but I think that was 3rd down over. This should be 4th down coming up. Yep, the sticks were wrong. I was right. I'll take it. And so you're 4th and a foot, 4th and goal from a foot outside of the goal line. Offense stays on the field.
And a chant coming from the sidelines.
Here we go. And right up the middle, touchdown, and the crowd goes nuts.
This is
Starters are swarming. We don't know the backstory, but they're pretty excited about this young man getting a touchdown.
This referee, the side judge here, is being lenient with them. They're across the 25 players on the field, but they're celebrating. It
and
doesn't
the referee's
affect
doing
anything.
the right thing.
Absolutely, letting them enjoy the moment. Oop, different kicker.
Whole pizza's $8 at the concession stand, fellas.
Woo. And it is no good wide left.
That was Ian Cook who scored that touchdown. He's a 5'9 senior, 160 pounds. Probably very popular with the team.
You're just doing data mining for us, brother.
See?
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. You have proved your worth tonight.
He's very popular with the team. That's his first touchdown after being on the team for 3 years.
All right.
Wow.
That's impressive work there, sir.
Thank you.
All right, clock stops for the change of possession. 2:23 to go. Pinecrest 63-10. Nate Cochrane.
Yes, sir.
Coach, I'd be a liar if I told you I wasn't afraid this might happen coming in here tonight.
Well, talking off air beforehand, we were concerned about the Cavaliers' depth and their ability to keep up with the Pinecrest Patriots, and our concerns weren't unfounded.
Now, I do have to say, the first half of this game, Southern showed some flashes, showed that they could do some things that some other teams need to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take the bad breaks that went against them with a punt, a block punt for a touchdown, a bad pick six, and then Harrington missing the second half, deck stacked against them in an environment like this against a team as good as this, this thing went downhill quickly. But some glimmer of hope, and I think there's some good things that the Southern staff can pull off the tape.
Absolutely.
And I hope that that doesn't get lost in everything else that's gone wrong, because there obviously is, some concern over there on the sideline, and you don't like the body language. We can see the effort levels where it needs to be from some of these players out here, but just the general feeling is not good right now.
It is looking quite ominous on that sideline, but these young men do need to remember this is only week 2.
That's true.
And they played a very big physical Hoke County last week, and then they came into Pinecrest, which, not trying to be critical, but I don't know why you would schedule a Pinecrest. And, came in and they're 0-2, but, they have Cedar Ridge next week. They have one of the homeschool group out of Virginia coming down
Central
to play.
Virginia. That's going to be an
Central
interesting.
Virginia.
That's going to be interesting.
And then they roll into conference play. And in all reality,
well,
they,
two
they
things.
knew coming in that 0-2 to start the season very easily could happen.
Well, it's easy to say they knew. People like you and I look at it and we're like, it's no big deal. It doesn't make it any easier to be a 17 or 18-year-old young man and be 0-2. But like we said in the opening, the important football for Southern is still a couple weeks away. They've got some good things going on. They've got some things they need to address. They need to get healthy. This is not a deep enough team that they can stand to have a couple injuries. And with Ingram being out, Harrington banged up now, Locklear's out. Locklear not just valuable as the second running back. He's a pivot man in that linebacking corps.
Absolutely.
So they've got to get these guys healthy. They've got to get some good breaks.
And that bye week is a long way away.
Yes, sir.
That bye week's a long way away.
Yes, sir, it is. So I think that given the situation, everything that's going on, yes, having Pinecrest on the schedule is not optimal. But at the same time, you never know when you schedule these games and you go into these contracts 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 years in advance. You don't know what your situation is going to be.
That's true.
All right, McAllister with the pitch. Elijah Fox looking for space, trying to get to the edge. Taken down after a short gain. It'll be 4th and long coming up as the clock ticks down inside 40 seconds. That may get us out of here. Yep, it looks like it will. You guys rally up in here and let's talk about what we've seen tonight.
90 years ago, First Bank was founded. You know First Bank, the one where you are greeted by name, the one dedicated to the community, and the one born in the heart of the Carolinas.
We help our customers to realize their dreams by providing financial solutions and building trusted relationships. Hi, I'm David Pashee, and we are First Bank.
Welcome to the First Bank Postgame Show.
This obviously is not a moral victory by any stretch of the imagination, but we did see some really good plays, some really good moments, and you're right. The healthiness of the Southern Lee squad is just not there right now. So overall, yeah, it's a hard loss to take. 63-10 is never a fun one to take. But for the Cavaliers, there is still hope. There's still light shining at the end of the tunnel for them. So keep your heads up, young men. Keep rocking and rolling. Have a good week of practice and roll right into next week.
All right, Trent Nichols. People have heard me talk for the last 2 hours, 2.5. What do you got?
You know, it's hard coming into a stadium that's celebrating their seniors with all the parents and the atmosphere, and you're shorthanded two of your best players. But you take these opportunities to keep learning and growing on these systems that you have been working so hard on. And, you know, there's a lot of good things they can take from this, a lot of good moral victories. Hopefully the quarterback is not hurt, Thomas, but we see him in line there. You know, you just got to keep on fighting. You know, I think that they did okay.
That, sir, is astute analysis. I've got nothing to add. We talked it all through the game. Southern came in, needed to play a perfect ball game to get out of here with a W. They showed flashes, but they did not play a perfect game. Too many missed tackles, too many splash plays given up going the other direction. Yep. Didn't take advantage of especially the 3rd and a mile that they got Pinecrest into, or Pinecrest rather got themselves into. Southern didn't do enough to take advantage of that. You have to be able to do that in a game like this to get out of here with a W. Again, it was going to take a perfect night. Didn't work out. We hope Thomas Harrington's okay. We need to get Rodney Ingram and Nick Locklear back in that backfield. Great job by Sean Mays holding it down at the running back position. Good job in coverage out wide. The breakdowns in coverage all night seem to be up the middle. That's something Southern's got to work on because everybody else they play is going to be looking at that and figuring out how they can create those communication issues. I am Chris Delambert. This is the Professor, Trent A. Nichols. Coach Nate Cochrane. Final score, 63-10 from Pinecrest. Southern Lee goes down. They'll look to get back right next week. We will be
at Lee County.
That's right.
Against Douglas Byrd.
As they host Douglas Byrd. We're excited about it. Get to go back and see the Jackets. Put it on somebody. 60-0 winners tonight at Northwood. We're excited. Guys, last words?
It's been my pleasure, gentlemen. Looking forward to next week with you.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Thanks for watching the Game of the Week on the NFHS Network.